Thought that was the family that abused him.
Do that. Hey, that's a good one. What are you talking about? You supposed to be catching. You supposed to be catching. See how we got. They're supposed to catch you. They're scared of one guy. They're scared of one guy. You're scared of one guy.
Mentally unstable, or does he have?
He has no medication.
Welcome back from Chris to Christopher. Parental advisory is advised at this point. Sorry for the wait. Pay attention to the captions and pay attention to the visuals because they will give you the illustration that you need to kind of put this stuff together, because now it's getting to that point that the facts are starting to prove themselves. Okay? And the sad thing about it, I haven't even dropped my receipts yet. Pay attention and you will see the story come and unfold in front of your eyes, from being just a story to coming into true crime. So please hit that like and hit that follow if you want to listen to more. Enjoy episode 2.5.
1992, still in school in New Smyrna. Margie left me with Tony and Grandma. I was going to school, everything was cool, and then the next couple of days he started being mean to me, yelling at me, just because he was smoking, thought he was doing cocaine and shit and stuff. So one night, I'm in the room, I slept in Grandma's bed, and Grandma slept in his room with him, and I woke up and he was standing at the door with his dick out, masturbating and looking at me. And I thought I was tripping. Well, a couple of days passed. I remember I wasn't sick. I never got sick in my life. Very rare. But he gave me cough. He gave me cough syrup one day. Like big ass spoons like big spoons of cough syrup. And gave me that, and then the next minute I remember that I woke up with my ass red and bleeding. And I didn't know why my ass was red and bleeding, and I was putting Vaseline when I had to go to school, and I stole the Vaseline from the kids from the bathroom with me. I would go to the bathroom, put it, and I would hurt when I sit down, and I didn't know that it was I got raped already. So over the years, I tried to tell Margie. She didn't want to believe me, and he raped me a couple of times right there on Washington Street. And when she moved when Elkin died, and we moved back to New Smyrna in emergency, and she waiting for the house in Live Oak. And she was living with Tony on Washington Street, and she was always too busy wanting to hang out and party with the Garcias and be in everybody's business, leaving me behind to take care of the kids. They raped me in the bathroom, underneath the stairways of when you go upstairs to the other people's houses. That's on top, because remember it was separate.
Mm-hmm.
And messed me up over the years. I tried to tell her, she didn't believe me, and I told her when I came home out of this time when I just came back, and I just told her about it. I finally told her about it and the real truth, and I cried to her, and she looked at me like she didn't believe it. Like, you know your brother was a homosexual. What in the right mind would you leave your son that you're supposed to love with all your might with your handicapped mother and your gay brother?
So after all that, was it growing up?
After that,
Yeah.
I was always scared of him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
he twists my arm. Nobody knows that he's the reason why my rotor cuff is really fucked up. That he twists my arm so bad that it fucked up my rotor cuff in my right arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I could, for a while, when I was in
Mm-hmm.
middle school, I couldn't hold Pudgy. And I couldn't hold it for a while. I remember. I waited till my arm got healed. Took me like a couple months. Finally got healed. Working out. And a best friend used to tell me, what a retard was, and because everybody used to call me a retard or a dummy, and he told me that a retard is somebody that loses their minds and, doesn't know what's going to happen. So one day,
Mm-hmm.
he called me over to his house. I was going to stab him to death. Like a Myers knife, but I had left it that night, and I went to his house. And when I got there, he was like, He ran outside. He's like, hurry up. Why take you so long? Get your fucking ass in here. Before your mother calls. Yeah, I ain't got no fucking day. And I said, I wouldn't go inside till you put the dog in the room because I wanted him to have me in the back where the bathroom was so nobody can hear because I was about to attack him that day. I was going to kill him. The bathroom, I went there, I sat in the toilet. He looked at me. He finally came and he said, you ain't got your clothes off already? I ain't got time for this shit because he used to make me bend over the toilet bowl while he raped me. And I just kept on saying, I'm a retard. And retards don't, and people won't believe me. That's what I just kept saying. I'm a retard and nobody will believe me. I'm a retard and nobody will believe me. And he said, what you say, you dumbass? What you say, you retard? And I just looked at him, turned around, and looked at her and said, I'm a retard and nobody will believe me. And he said, what's that mean? And I said it again, and I said, because nobody's going to believe me when I kill you. And he looked at me and he said, what? Sit down. And I stood up and I said, that's right. I am stronger than you. I'm going to kill you now with my bare hands. And he ran. I ran after him and he got to the door. Remember, he had one of those doors that you lock with the key, inside and outside, all locked. But he had the key inside his vase and he couldn't get to it. I laughed at him and said, where do you think you're going now, motherfucker? And he said, what? I said, what? And I said, yeah, you're mine now, bitch. And I grabbed him, and that's when I realized the strength that I really have. When I grabbed his little skinny fucking ass by his fucking throat, and I threw him from that door all the way to almost to the kitchen when he slid underneath the dining room table. And I went after him, and he got in the kitchen, and I couldn't reach the knife because anything to stab him was too far away. And I just thought of Incredible Hulk, my favorite superhero. I just fucking took him by his neck, and I slammed him over and over and over and over. And I probably slammed him a long time until Christian finally saved him from killing him, ripping his fucking tonsils out of his mouth through his skin. I stayed with that torment for years. Never told nobody to now. To be the angry Chris, that was the build of the angry Chris coming over the years and over the years. I used to say it. My favorite. Who's my favorite? Halloween. Who's my favorite?
Michael Myers.
Serial killer. Michael Myers. No, cuz that was my truth. I left the knife the day I told you I slammed him all those times. Yeah. I left it. She rushed me out the house. I already had the knife underneath my bed. I had it for 4 days. Right there on Jungle Road. Yeah, I had the Michael Myers knife. I was ready. I was going to take him out because you know why? Kyle. That's why I love him with all my heart. My best friend, Kyle, love him, was the one that taught me that I would get away with it. Because I used to tell him, good, Kyle, what does a retard mean? And he was like, why are you asking me that, Chris? I used to ask him that every day on that, every fucking day. I used to drove him crazy. He was like, and he used to look at me and say, Chris, are you somebody's touching you? He told me that one time. We were in middle school, And I looked at him and I said, no, just, he's like, Chris, don't lie to me. We're best friends. And he said, we're like brothers, He's I'll protect you. What's wrong? Anybody messing with you? And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm good, Kyle. I'm good, my nigga. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Christian knew I was going to kill him. Christian stopped me.
That's when you slammed him in the house, right?
Yeah. I'm just kept on slamming him.
So you was living on Jungle Road when that happened?
No. I was living in the Jungle House. I used to ride my bike because she was like, oh, who needs you to help me. So I would ride my bike, take my time, ride my bike all the way to Washington Street. One time he was living across the street from the Garcia's, that house.
Yeah, that house, yes.
He had Aphrodite, one of the worst dog he had. Medusa was nothing between Aphrodite.
That's true.
Aphrodite hit that fucking door. It felt like she was coming through that motherfucker. Who wasn't scared of her was a lying bitch. That motherfucking bitch would be scared. You know what I'm saying? And I used to make him put her in the room. There was only 2 places he would do me in, his room or in the bathroom. So that day I set it up to the whole time I'm planning inside my head. If I get him to the bathroom, blah, 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 he has a chance, he has to run. But and then I wanted him in the kitchen, and that's how I threw him over that glass. Remember he had the table right there in the front where he put
Yeah.
his cigarette,
Yeah.
put his weed in that glass vase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I threw him over that. He landed underneath the table in the dining room. I threw the table out my way, and he ran into the kitchen. That's how I had him in the kitchen. But I couldn't get to the knife because the knife was right there. I would have went and grabbed it. It would have given him a chance to run to the door. I didn't want him to run to the door no more.
How old were
And
you?
I was just like, I was at that time
Mm-hmm.
12,
12.
13. I was probably 12 or 13. Somewhere around there because after that, I don't remember him ever touching me again. The last time we talked, it wasn't a good thing. Left me off with Tony. So let's talk about my basketball career that I could have had. I was very good in this Myrtle Beach. I played a little bit in Pop Warner, and I was very known in my basketball skills. Like I said, I at least was top 5, one of the best players in Miss Smyrna. I was taught by one of the best in Miss Smyrna, I think, at the time, Matt Dewberry, and I picked up a lot of his moves and learned how to play ball, and I was very good at it for my size. And Miss Margie, she wouldn't let me play. I remember she got mad at me one time and broke my finger, my right finger, my middle finger. She snapped it back, broke it. Yeah. There was a time I did choke Lorenzo because he pissed me off. And she pushed me and I landed on my finger and I broke 2 of my fingers. She didn't let me play basketball. I was good at soccer. She didn't let me play soccer. She never let me go. Or maybe I could have been a skateboarder and a BMX. I was really good at that too. I was good at surfing. I surfed too. A lot of things she took away from me in my childhood. I was a real Cinderella. I always had to clean the house. I always had to watch over my brothers and sisters. She never stopped wanting to have kids, and then she said she couldn't have no more kids, and said she married a man that smoked crack and everything, and got with him, and said that he couldn't have kids, and then they had 2 more kids.
You were stuck taking care of raising your brothers and sisters.
Yes, I was raising them.
And
All
then
right.
during that time you was raising them, what was Margie and her husband doing?
She married a crackhead. I mean,
Okay,
he was a great guy. He was good to me. Really don't have too much bad to say about him.
that's
You know what
good.
I'm saying? He tried his best to give me the cool freedom that she didn't want to give me.
That's
You
good.
know,
That's good.
that's one thing about him I can say about him.
As you was taking care of the kids,
Yeah.
what was Margie doing? Like what?
Oh,
What?
the whole
Yeah,
time what she was doing
yeah.
on
Explain
the
that.
phone, talking to her sister.
Okay, and then was she doing any drugs or anything like that?
Who, her?
Margie, yeah,
Margie? Yeah,
yeah.
she's doing cocaine.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I heard through the rumors she smoked crack before. That's all I know, and I heard it through a cousin that knows her very well.
Oh,
He puts his daughter's life on it. She would make me go. I'm only like what, 12, 13, 14 years old, 15 maybe, and I'm going through Miss Smyrna looking for her husband or her boyfriend at the time, Oscar Suarez, and he's in these drug houses and stuff, and anything could have happened to me. People smoke crack, they spook out, anything could have happened to me, but she had me going looking for him, to try to find him to bring him back home.
oh, oh. Why did you have to leave Florida?
Oh, why did we have to move? Because she was selling drugs.
Oh,
That's the truth. And the cops, Miss Smyrna police, raided the house on Jungle Road, and Oscar had to take the blame, knowing that he's a drug user, not a drug dealer. They were looking for somebody that sold drugs, and Oscar had to take the rap for it, or she was going to lose it and lose her kids.
oh. Yes. Okay. How old were you when you left?
Miss Smyrna,
Yes.
18,
18. Okay. Carolina.
South
So,
Carolina.
did you have to go to court or anything for involving your money?
Uh, I did go to, me and Marina did take me to New York 2 times. 2 times I remember. I had to go see my lawyers, and then
Mm-hmm.
I had to go see, I remember being in a room with a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of different lawyers and stuff. I guess that was my team. And I was showing them, letting them know that, here I am in person. I don't read that well. I don't. But Margie pushed it to a level of trying to say that I was mentally retarded when I really wasn't. To get for the money, to get control of the money.
Did you finish high school?
Yeah, no, I got I got kicked out of high school.
Oh, why you got kicked out of high school?
Messing around with girls and and fighting and stuff, and
Okay.
just kicked out of high school.
Okay.
1 minute remaining.
Okay. Okay.
1998 era. Yeah, when I went to New York to meet the doctors and stuff.
Okay.
Because I was getting.
And then what
how
did you
much-
do in South Carolina?
Nothing besides work with Becca. I drive her around.
Okay.
That's the truth.
And then
That's all I
just
did.
and
Boots that came around and they got into a fight and there was drama like always.
yeah.
And I really didn't do nothing in South Carolina. I can really say South Carolina was more relaxed. We just got the check, so she did buy me wardrobes and and I was having my sneaker. I was getting my sneaker. Our kids were getting a sneaker and stuff. Everybody's, we're doing good. And then we finally moved to Elkin. They gave me enough, money to buy the house. I remember going back to in front of the judge or my lawyer and saying, well, how much is the house? Oh, okay, this is how much the house is. This is how much we're going to give you. Exactly. Well, it's time to go in. You hear me?
Oh, it's time to go in? All right.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Coach.
I'll talk.
All right. Not being mean and not being nothing. What would you say?
Why'd you do this to me?
Who you say that to? To Margie or your mother? Both of them?
Margie.
Margie? Margie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why'd you do this?
What was the
Nobody
reason?
gave you anything you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody gave you anything you wanted. Why'd you be so greedy to do this to me? To favor your daughter, Anastasia, when I would have gave Anastasia anything she wanted.
Facts.
In the honor of Elkin, in the eyes of Elkin.
Facts.
That's facts. I would have gave Pucci anything she wanted. I gave Lorenzo anything. Anybody, my brother and sister, I would have gave anything to them. My life was about them. I did the money, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I didn't hesitate one time when I took them out. You know what I'm saying? When she told me, when I wanted to drop 50 grand, I wanted to drop 50 in Anna's account. I wanted to drop 50 in Isaiah and Lorenzo's account, and 50 in Natalia, and 50 in Grichas. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Grita at that time, it was more of buying her house, buying her everything, and telling her, you want something, you got to come to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of her stupidity she was doing at her time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I wasn't, you know what I'm saying? She didn't even give him no money. You didn't even get $1 out of this money
You didn't.
because of her.
Yep.